Hello and welcome to Basic Go. In a previous video, I promised that I was going to show you how to enclose the corner when you have a star point, a 4-4 point in the corner, okay? Before we begin, I want to make a disclaimer. I don't recommend you enclose the corner. I recommend you play for the outside. If you're playing 4-4 stones, I already explained in a previous video, they are used for center influence and not for securing the corner. And if you're playing a handicap game, I recommend you still force yourself to use the outside and learn the game. Otherwise, you're going to start defending your corners. Even if you have a 6 stone handicap, you're going to go defending all the corners and you're going to lose. You'll see. It's like magic. It's incredible. So I recommend you use the opportunity and go for the outside. Now, there are special cases where it's not good to go for the outside because your opponent may have a strong influence already in the outside, or your opponent groups may be all safe, so you don't do anything. You cannot attack, you cannot make territory in the outside. So in that case, it is good to secure the corner. So when white approaches here, we already studied this response, this answer. There's also a pincer that we will study soon to take the outside. But today we're going to see how to enclose the corner. I already explained why this kick is not a very good idea, because when white extends and then the Joseki continues, then later the corner is still open. The corner right now at A, still sorry, not there, here, still open to invasion. And I did a video about that, and we will later study all the sequences, variations, starting with that invasion, but not right now. So instead of doing this kick that makes white strong in the outside and at the same time leaves the corner open, there are other possibilities. Of course, you can play something like this. I explained in that video also that if you get to play, let's say, something like this, that secures the corner. But it loses center also because white may not respond here and just go somewhere else. So this is a possibility, of course, but let's study other possibilities. So a very common response here would be just to do this iron pillar, securing the corner. Now, white may want to secure her group, making a base here, and then it would be your turn to enclose the corner. And this is now your corner. It cannot be taken away. It's secure. Of course, white may not play like that. If white is really jealous of your corner, white may go and play something like this, right? And then force you to either attack this stone or do something like this and come out, come out to the center. This is important that you come out to the center, because if you don't, let's say if you don't come out to the center, if you do something like this and you get really, really territorial, then white may play here and you're enclosed. And being enclosed like that is usually not very good in Go. And if you chose to take the corner, it's because your opponent is strong in the center. And if your opponent is strong in the center and he gets or she gets to enclose you like this, not going to be very good at all. This corner is very small, not very good. So it's important that you actually go out again to the center, so you have access to the center. There are other possibilities where your opponent may not even play here, but actually play here. This is actually playable, believe it or not. It has been played by professionals. It's unbelievable. And believe it or not, the response that I don't recommend, which is this one, has been also played by professionals, just in a few cases, but I don't recommend you play like that at all, unless your group is about to die, of course. If your group is about to die, then you should play here and save it. Otherwise, this is just very submissive. You just are letting your opponent play with you, basically pushing you around. This is not very good. I recommend you play something like this, going out and attacking this stone. If your opponent plays here, you can always, start attacking this stone. If your opponent play here, you have different moves like this one, or you can just wedge, and if this happens, you may have to end up having to attack this and going for the center anyway and attacking. So even here, let's say you play here just to attack the stone. Even here, when you try to secure the corner, you still couldn't. And your opponent left you getting the side and attacking the stone. So that's why I don't recommend playing the 4-4, the start point corner, and going for the corner, because your opponent may have ways to still take the corner. Another possibility is you playing this move. This second line move in the opening is really weird, because we shouldn't really play in the second line in the opening. But this is not about territory, really. This is about taking away white space, and of course, protecting the corner also. So white, the Joseki goes here, white protects here, and then, of course, black has to extend here. Otherwise, white would push like this, and then this stone would be captured, or this is not good at all. So if black plays like this stone is captured, and then white's safe. So black has to play here and come out. And the next move is really important for white. What is that move? Well, I hope you got it. Is this play. Why? Because we need to spoil the tiger's mouth. Remember, if black gets to play here, this is really good. It's a tiger's mouth, blocking access to the top. But at the same time, it's a hane, a diagonal play at the head of two stones. This move is just too good for black, so white has to prevent this move. And after white plays here, normally black would save the corner, secure the corner, and white would get to extend. And this settles the Joseki. However, when white extends here, sometimes some players want both sides. They want the corner and also the outside. So they may say, oh, I'm going to play here or here. And then what's going to happen? Well, if black didn't protect the corner to go out to the top, then is white's privilege, is white's right to enclose black. So what may happen is this attachment encloses, and now black is being enclosed to the corner, so black has to try to escape. But this move, play here first, which is a critical move, it's the next move would be an atari, right? So white would atari here, and if black connects, then capture these two stones. So black has to defend here. And this move is very important, because if black were the one to play here, then white would be left with a cutting point right here, which would divide, separate these two groups, and that would be a disaster if black got to play there. So I don't know if you can see it. Now, one of those two groups is for sure going to get captured. So that's why this move is very, very important, that black actually gets to play here first. White gets to play here first. And then black has to respond. And then white would take the outside like this. So black got the corner and also a stone outside, which is, it's a little bit close to thickness, but it still can make a base. And white got center influence. There are other ways to respond as white here. Sometimes white may want just to do this immediately and independent of the situation. If you have a stone here already as black, you may want to come and threaten the base. So that's a very common way of responding, being light with white. Another way that I have seen people responding a lot is this one. This is not very common. So white pushes here, black blocks, white blocks here the second line to make a base. Of course, black has to block here, otherwise white's going to capture, and if white captures, white's going to be safe. So, sorry, white's going to be safe like that. So this doesn't make much sense. So black is going to block here, and then white gets to extend. I don't really like this that much, because this is very, very good. White's is really low. This extension is not very good. White could extend also around here, but still, it's just not as good. So I rather, as white, I rather block here. So, you know, I get this, and if black wants to pressure, I take the outside, and if black answers here to take the corner, I make a much better base. This base is, you know, at least is going one stone more towards the center, outside, and it's also the extension is a little bit further, feels more comfortable. So this is it, a few ways of securing the corner. If you have a star point and you want to secure the corner, and as I already said, I don't really recommend it unless your opponent is already strong in the outside or your group is enclosed and you need to save it from dying. Okay, see you next time.